Good morning, everybody. How you doing, Sam? United People's TV. It's Christmas Eve. Yep. 2 more days. It's a big one. We can all enjoy ourselves. Drink at like 9:30 a.m. and not get looked at. What? You got it as a Christmas present. What can you do? Anyway, going to run through the latest news on Antoine Semenyo because whether or not you think it's the right conversation to have, it's a conversation that United are having. All right? So I'm going to run through the latest from Fabrizio, just what's being reported. And we're going to have a little conversation, really, on why, because what it looks like is a straight choice between United and City for Semenyo at this stage. We'll also run through the latest on Kobbie, on midfielders, on Zirkzee, on the Newcastle game, and all around the news. And of course, and I've actually pinned it to the chat already, the link for today's quiz. That's why I don't treat you well. How you all doing? Who's wrapping presents today? Hands in the air. Maybe tomorrow as well. Hands in the air. Undecided. Bit of both. We'll find out. Let's see. Ant, good morning to you. Josh, good morning to you as well. We've got JC. We've got Maddie. We've got Carl. We've got... Who else we got? Manny, good morning to you. We've got Steve. We've got Lily. What was it, Lily? Lily? I don't know. We've got Smee. John, morning. Who's doing what? Ruben Neves, yeah, maybe. Carl, you've already done your Christmas shopping. Not Christmas shopping, Christmas wrapping. Well, I haven't, so let me off. All right. Should we get on with today's show? Yeah, let's get on with today's show. Right. It's a shame to see some good news for Liverpool, isn't it? The way that signing is shaping up is really going to be... who cares? Anyway, it's a real shame. It's a real shame to see some good news for Liverpool. It's making me choke. Look, last night, I've seen some discourse. McTominay and Højlund winning. Now, is that the Supercoppa Italia? Is that like the Italian version of the Community Shield? Is that like the winners of the league versus the winners of the cup? Which is the Community Shield. I mean, I don't know why it happened in December. But is that what the Italian version of it is? I think it is. Anyway, Napoli won it. They beat AC Milan. Congratulations to McTominay. Congratulations to Højlund. And then we're seeing this, right? I think was it McTominay last week? We played the clip of his interview. He was being interviewed by Kate for CBS Sports, and she was asked, like, players leave United, they've become better players, and oh my god. And McTominay's like, no, hold on, man, that's kind of an easy excuse. I think it was this one that made me want to lead the conversation for today's show with this. Like, Højlund on Instagram saying what a great decision looks like. And Højlund, mate, that wasn't your decision. Højlund did everything within his power to stop any move from Man United. In terms of great decisions, I don't particularly think that was your one there, mate. Let's be honest. But congratulations to both of them for winning that. Just wanted to say that to start today's show. That's all. Mikey saying don't give it the space. I just it's worth commenting on, if I'm honest. I don't really have anything against Højlund, though, I'll be honest. What we're saying down here in the chat. Someone said they're going to their first game, taking your son to his first game on Boxing Day. Well, I hope for you, my friend, that we absolutely spank Newcastle. Not sure we will. We'll find out. Shall we talk about the main topic for today's show? Now, this here, I apologise. Someone down there, Chubbs, you're saying, came from TikTok, didn't know you were live at all. For some reason, the the lives aren't going live on TikTok right now. I don't know what it is. You can blame TikTok because it was working perfectly and now it's not working. I've disconnected, reconnected, resynced everything, and it should be working, and I don't know whether it is or not. But we'll always be live on YouTube every single day without fail. Now, the reason I pulled this up was this was a graphic that Sky Sports produced around about 3 weeks ago. Who will trigger Semenyo's release clause in January? City's badges there, Liverpool's and Spurs, not United. Because, like, I'll ask you, did you have any inkling or feeling, even when United, look, when we played Bournemouth and Amrin was there saying, you know, Semenyo's a special player, probably like, did he name drop him? I think he said that Bournemouth have some special players, and I think he was asked by a journalist, do you mean Antoine Semenyo? And he just replied saying yes. So we name dropped him. Even up until that Bournemouth game, and even after really Ruben Amorim mentioned him, I didn't think that United were going to be in for him this January. Steve, Corey, you both caught me out there. Let's be honest. I am live on YouTube unless I'm buying Fred again tickets, which we got the tickets though. So it was worth it. I don't know. Well, I went live half an hour late anyway, so you can sue me. But maybe it's that, Doc. Maybe it's that. When the release clause got made public. But United are in for him. As I said, like whether, and we've already had these conversations and discussions, you know, my personal opinion on it as well. If you were to give me two choices, and maybe there isn't a choice and that's kind of the problem, but if you were to give me two choices, Sam, what would you rather spend £65 million on in January for United? Another attacker who can also play as wing back and is versatile and can play across the front three, Premier League proven, sure, yeah, great. Lots to his game. Or would you rather sign a central midfielder? You know what my answer is going to be? A central midfielder. What this feels like to me is United accelerating something that they would have done in the summer. I mean, we tried to sign Semenyo in the summer. So suppose the idea of signing Semenyo isn't a new thing. We tried to go after him. I think we went after him, not like we went after him before in Boomo, but we inquired about him and the price was too high. And we went, never mind, move on. So he was already on our radar in the summer. So this isn't just a consequence of that release clause existing, but it might be accelerating it to this point. I'm going to bring you the latest on him now. Now, let's see what you're saying down here. Sam, you're saying, no way we're going to get a 65 mil central midfielder. I mean, there are countless midfielders that you can sign for 65 mil. Let's be totally honest. Like pretty much any midfielder in the world, apart from that top elite tier, you can get for 65 mil. And we'll speak about midfielders next. It surprised me, right? Carl, you're saying, I think United are taking advantage of an opportunity versus solving the more pressing need. Jamnet, you're saying, Amorim has a point. We cannot buy players for the short term. We'll be able to say, look, I completely agree on that one. It feels like that Matthias Tell deal last January was the precedent for us. The one that's going to be used, well, that was a chance for United to sign an attacker where we couldn't score a goal for Toffee that season. We didn't go after him. Spurs ended up signing him on an obligation. How important is Tell to Spurs right now? Is he the 40-odd million pound player that they signed him for? No, not particularly. Right? Manny, you're saying we're desperate for a midfielder? I know we're desperate for a midfielder. But this is what Fabrizio's saying, and the latest on this. Oh, look at that. Okay, didn't do it with that little screen grab. Anyway, this is the latest from Fabrizio.
Man United against Manchester City. This is the situation of today. Manchester battle. Because also today contacts took place between Semenyo's camp, Man United and Man City. The two clubs are pushing, presenting their projects, presenting their technical view, presenting their financial opportunities for the player. So Man United and Man City are battling for Antoine Semenyo.
So that's the latest from him from yesterday. That it's basically a two-horse race. Kind of am I a little bit surprised that Liverpool aren't fully in for him? I kind of think so, but they're I wouldn't say they're at civil war with what's going on with Salah, but Semenyo as a Salah replacement would put Liverpool in a pretty damn good position. And if we waited until the summer where it feels like Salah's going to be moving on, that would probably be the most likely move. It really is mad that United are going to be spending 65 mil on another attacker right now. Even more mad for the fact that I know that he's going to come in and not even play it as an attacker straight away. Semenyo will come in to play left wing back, man. Zirkzee is saying Liverpool might come in for him. Yeah, I mean, they might do. But then kind of throw into... My point is that it's kind of a delicate situation with Salah right now with everything that's going on and whether he's right or wrong and whether he's playing or not. So the idea of then going out and signing Semenyo whilst all that's going on kind of closes that Salah door, really, and takes a little bit of power away from Liverpool in a negotiation to sell him. And he's saying there's market opportunity and there is actively hampering your chances of getting into Europe by not addressing your true weaknesses. It pisses me off. Now, I'll ask you here, question. I mean, I suppose it's a little bit of a rhetorical question, this. Do you think there's a chance that United sign Semenyo in January and don't sign a midfielder? I said it's rhetorical because, of course, there's a bloody chance of it. That we keep hearing about United not wanting short term, not wanting short term, for example, is it can rule out Conor Gallagher on loan. Unless United really do feel that on loan with an obligation that Conor Gallagher could actually be the midfielder that we need next season. João Gomez, I don't think would be any sort of loan. I don't think Ruben Neves would be any sort of loan. I think you'd have to buy both of those. It would be, quite frankly, a bit ridiculous as a strategy if United did sign an attacker and didn't sign a midfielder. It's just the issue is we don't know what level of midfielder we can get. We know the ones we can't get. Like, if you want to go, I was going to have this conversation a little bit later in the show, but I can bring it in now. This is from David Ornstein, which will come as no surprise to anybody. It's actually a little bit different to what Fabrizio's saying. He's kind of repeated and reiterated time and time again that Carlos Baleba is top of United's priority list, wish list, whatever list you want to bloody put it on. He's kept saying that Baleba's top of it. David Ornstein feels that Elliot Anderson is. And I suppose that's kind of down to interpretation, really, down to sources, down to what you're hearing. Either way, both of those two names are on the list. But you know full well we're not signing Elliot Anderson in January. Even if you threw 90 million at Nottingham Forest, I suppose they'd think about it. But I don't think they'd sell. Whereas Semenyo, we know full well there is a 65 million release clause. The deadline is the 10th of January. It's why it's the 23rd of December. We're really having these conversations. It kind of, you know what United want, right? You know what United want. United want this. United, that's what we're doing, right? We're presenting the project. We're speaking to Semenyo. We're telling them where you'll fit in, what the plans are, where we're going to be in 6 months' time, etc., etc. United want this to come out like an Ornstein bomber saying Antoine Semenyo has chosen to join Manchester United. I suppose it's not as necessary as this Mbeumo one was because there's a release clause. So there's not really any negotiation around it. There is a little bit of negotiation, which I'll speak about next. But with Mbeumo, we got in there early. We convinced him. He chose United, so there wasn't really a bidding war between Arsenal and Newcastle and Spurs and anybody else who wanted him. And that's what United would prefer here. But because it is, as I said, a release clause, there is no sort of bidding war that's going to happen. Let me see what you're saying down here in the chat. So I think United are going to be active in January. And I've already said this before as well. It feels like a January where United have got to be more active than normal. It feels like a January where there's a mad opportunity to make a bigger difference compared to previous years in January. I don't know whether that makes sense or not when I'm saying it, but I kind of know what I'm trying to say. I think this January window has the ability to impact the second half of the season far more than your average January window for United. That's what I think. Almac is saying we aren't going for Ruben Neves. Ratcliffe made it clear we aren't signing old men. I mean, it's mad, isn't it, that we say that about somebody who's 28 and he's going to be 29 in March. By the way, his birthday's the 13th of March, which is the single best day of the entire year. It's my birthday. So we should sign him just for that alone. Don't care if that. What's his birthday? Yeah, 13th of March. Bring in. Play the kid until the summer. Well, that's not going to happen, is it? Neves for 15 mils a no-brainer. Do you reckon you get him that low? Maybe not. Maybe Amram is playing with the idea of Litcher as CM, says Sam. Look, I'm probably a bigger Martinez fanboy than 95% of you in the comments. There's no way that he played fantastic in terms of that number 6 role against Villa, because there was loads of time on the ball for him. But if you get Martinez into a midfield against, like, I don't know, Bruno Guimaraes and Tonali, what's going to happen then? I don't quite know. That's when I'm going to be judging. We might see him against Newcastle. We might not. Yeah, Bruno came in Jan. I know that. Yeah, look. Someone down there saying 28's not that old. That's bollocks. Look, it's just the way that it goes in modern football. Younger players are better at a younger age, and because of the pace of the game, like, do you reckon the peak of a player, the peak age of a player has reduced? They might be getting younger. Someone down there saying, how about this? Do you prefer getting only Semenyo in January, or we end up with 0 signings? Well, again, that's a stupid rhetorical question. Would I rather have no signings or a top-class foot? Of course, I'm going to choose Semenyo. Come on, be better with those questions. Eric, what are you saying down there? You're saying, let me know why it's not January Semenyo plus Neves in, and Zirkzee and Ugarte out, and summer Anderson plus Gallagher, with older players like Casemiro, Maguire, and Bruno Sale opening more capacity. I don't really think there's... Gallagher, for me, falls into the Matthias Tell category. Now, do I think he'd be a bad signing? No. Do I think he'd be an incredible signing? No. Do I think come next season, if he wasn't playing for us, that I'd be like, oh man, we missed out on him? No, I don't think so either. That's where I would put Gallagher, which is probably why United aren't particularly interested in him. And he's saying, why is the question? Come to us, play out of position, or have to fight for a number 10 spot? You're talking about choices, and I'm actually going to run through this in a little bit, right? We're going to put these down. Say, why would Semenyo choose United, and why would Semenyo choose City? I'm going to put those and bring those into a video at lunchtime today on it, because I think it'll be interesting. Someone talking about Gungshi. Oh yeah, somebody wasn't talking about Gungshi. I was supposed to say Kone there. Anyone ever do that? I hate when that happens. Right? You're halfway through a sentence and then something else comes up. But Gungshi, dude, Merry Christmas, man. You basically are Santa of this community. Legend. Anyway, what else is being said on this Semenyo situation? Let me bring you these. Right. You've got Lyle Thomas from Sky Sports. This was yesterday, by the way. Saying that Semenyo could make a decision on his future today. Like, it kind of feels like whatever happens, we're gonna find out pretty soon. Now, I thought this was worthy of a little bit of a conversation here. Yeah, I'm not really talking about the peaks of goalkeepers because, hey, look, we signed Edwin van der Sar when he was how old? 33, 32, 33, I don't know. Old. Goalkeepers are different breeds compared to like an outfield player. But I thought this was an interesting conversation from Sully about if United do get the thumbs up and like from Semenyo's camp from Bournemouth going, yeah, right, okay, he wants to choose you. Then they're going to try and negotiate paying the release clause in installments to help with cash flow. Now, this is going to be part of it as well. Certain release clauses have to be paid in full straight away. Not everyone. Remember Cunha, we signed him 20 mil over 3 seasons. That was the release clause that was built into the contract. The payment terms are going to be important here. And again, United could... Did we do this with Zirkzee? I think it was Zirkzee we did it with. Where we paid like a couple of mil over his release clause. And therefore we could pay it in separate terms. Sounds like that's something that we might try with Semenyo and Bournemouth. So say, for example, the release clause is 65 mil. we pay 67.5 mil. I mean, Bournemouth aren't going to turn down an extra 2.5 mil. It depends what their cash flow is like. And bearing in mind how many players have left Bournemouth, like they were not in a good place last season before, but in the summer they sold a lot. So I imagine their cash flow is in a better position, but I don't know exactly the finances of Bournemouth. Right? If we pay the release clause in instalments, you have to pay a premium. Exactly. That's what I said, like paying 2.5 million more than City would pay. I know 2.5 million isn't massive in the grand scheme of things for us. Maybe not even. No, sorry. It is for us. It wouldn't be for football clubs, but it's something that, I don't know, they consider. Now, I want to ask you this as a question. Right? Why would Semenyo choose United? And why would Semenyo choose City? Fire it in the chat. Because I'll be interested to know what you put in here. Why would you choose United? Prestige? Is he a fan? I don't know whether he's a fan. Belief in the project? Going to have to reduce the size of this text. She's massive. Let's go there. What else? Right? I'm listening. Fire it in the chat. I don't know whether he's a fan or not. I've never read anything on that. More chance to play, says Eunice. I mean, yeah, but would he play in the right position? Someone saying Pep leaving soon? I just don't know that. I don't know how. I just don't know how that's a bigger selling point than United, because we don't know what's going on with Ruben Amorim in this future either. If we're being completely honest. What was she saying down here? Top 3 club. I think it's top 3 club in the world. Top 3 club in the world. Big contract, big money. Again, that's going to be something that is quite equal between United and City. I don't think that we would offer significantly more than what City would offer. So again, I'm not going to put that one down, because we have got an actual wage structure in place now. Most of our signings are coming in around about the 150 mark. And I imagine the same thing would happen with Semenyo. Expect to play more at United. More chance to play. I've already got down there. Red Baron, you're saying City might be done by the law, whereas United is a massive club that pisses all over. Prestige, I'm putting that down as. Pep's on the way out. Guaranteed starter. I'll put that more chance to play. We'll put those as the main ones for now. Right, okay. And now, and this isn't even just asking about like red tinted specs, but just on the flip side, why would you choose City? You're immediately competing for top trophies. Want to work with Pep? I don't know. Question mark. I mean, you are playing with the best in the world currently. Some of the best in the world currently. More money? No, I'm not going to put more money down here. Want to work with Pep, I think is fair. I think that's probably about it. More stable environment. I think, okay, that's fair. I'll put that one down then. But again, we don't know whether. No, to be fair, it is a more stable environment. Let's be completely honest. Project more appealing? Question mark? I promise you, I'm not trying to put like United like red tinted specs on this. I'm just curious. Actually, that's a fair one there. More chance of playing in favoured position. Man, I used to be able to touch type so much better. I've lost my flow now. Less media pressure. I think that's probably a fair point. That's a good one, Nort. Less scrutiny. I'm going to put it down as a poll as well. Genuinely, What do you think he chooses? Who do you think he chooses? City or United? Or just put other. Leave that. Yeah, Champions League's already down there. I've got it immediately competing for the top trophies. I'm going to put both of these inside the lunchtime video and sort of add any more in that I think of between now and then. But he's got two choices currently. By the looks of it. United and City. And United want him. Like, as I said, whether or not you think it's the right use of finances, whether or not you think it's the right priority for United and whether we should be going after and signing him, blah, blah, blah. That's kind of not the point now. United want him. United aren't just in talks for him, that we're there like presenting the project. Like, Antoine, this is where you're going to be immediately. This is where you'll be in 6 months' time. Look at this, look at that. These are the facilities. This is where your dressing room, this is where you could live in, blah, blah, blah. Doing the whole shebang. And United, to their credit, for Wilcox and Barada, they've been pretty convincing at this point with quite a few players. And Mbeumo could have chosen any team he really wanted in the Premier League, let's be honest. He was good enough. Cunha, it kind of felt like we had a little bit of a free run at Cunha. Who else was in for him? I can't remember. Was it Newcastle were in for him. But that was an easy win. Easier win, I suppose. Šeško, we convinced him as well. United have been, at this particular point in time, United have been pretty good at convincing players. Now, Harry, you're saying down there, if you were a neutral, Sam, who would you choose? United or City? I honestly would say it depends on what drives Semenyo. Because, again, this is not red-tinted specs. Like, it doesn't matter what City do. And this pisses off Pep Guardiola so much. Like, it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter how many trophies you're in. Oh, you want a trophy? It doesn't matter how many. It doesn't matter what you do, City. You will never be United. It is just not possible. So accept that you are the lesser sister, the twin, the uglier twin, whatever you want to call it. There is just a prestige at Manchester United have that City will never get. And if that is what drives Semenyo to be part of that and the excitement of that, then that will drive him. But if he wants, and he feels at this age, was he 25? Feels like next few years I just want to win it all. I want to be competing. I want to play in the Champions League tomorrow. I want to compete for the title tomorrow. Then it's City. If the run to the litter, call it that, whatever you want. This must piss Guardiola off so much. No matter how much success he has there at City, they just won't ever be United. And I don't know what drives Semenyo. I'm not Antoine Semenyo. I haven't spoken to him. I don't know his inner workings. But if that prestige really is as important to him as it was to Bryan Mbeumo, for example, then there's only one choice he's making. Kind of sounds like we're going to find out sooner rather than later, for being honest. Someone down there saying, if you want to win trophies and receive accolades, City's the best place. If you just want everything you do to be scrutinised, join United. That is something that has to be factored in. Like, are you prepared to make yourself more vulnerable than you've ever been in your entire life? Like, you do realise how, when you open that door as a Manchester United player, that you can't go backwards. Like, the spotlight is intense. But some players, like Cunha, have been wanting that, chasing that, have got it, and are enjoying it. Right, let's move on from Semenyo, but it feels like we're going to be... Oh, damn it, I've got so my... I'll have a lunchtime video on the Semenyo situation today, and then probably the next video that we do, it'll either be a here we go for United, or here we go for City and just a reaction in that sense. Let's move forward. Can I just say here 2 things? Number 1, please drop a like in it on the video if you are enjoying it and enjoying the conversation. That's what I always try my best to do every single day, to make this actually something that you really feel part of. I read as many of your comments out as possible. We get all your comments up on screen as well. We've got the quiz coming at the end of today's show. Yeah. That's it. That's all I want to say. What are you saying down here? If you take off your red tinted glasses off, City makes more sense. Someone says down there. But if that's not the case, why has he not made a decision? Well, he's just looking at different options, I suppose. Speaking of decisions and speaking about options, let's move on. Which is where the majority of us want to actually focus on in January. Let's be honest. Midfield. Now, I don't think that what's happened to Bruno the last game, we also don't know how bad it was with Bruno. You know what's mad is, didn't Bruno play on for like 5-10 minutes with the bloody pulled hamstring? I genuinely think, well, first of all, it was a big bit of denial. But like when we spoke about this yesterday, like when you pull a muscle, you know you pulled a muscle. It's quite obvious. But maybe he's just never done it before. And he's like, what's that? That's weird. We all think it was a hamstring. There's not been any confirmation from the club. Maybe there won't be. Maybe there will be. We'll find out. Probably before the Newcastle. We know that Amram's going to tell us that Bruno's out of the Newcastle game, but we don't know exactly what. Yeah, Stevie took a corner. Like, he pinged like a 40-yard pass across the Dallo, I swear, with his right leg. But Kobbie and his future and what's going on with Bruno, right? Again, reports suggesting that United are considering midfield options. Yeah, of course they bloody are. Regardless of what's happening with Bruno or with Kobbie, we should be looking in midfield options. Now, this is what the Times are saying. Saying that Kobbie's hopes of United exit are now dashed because of what's happened to Bruno. So Bruno Fernandes' injury has all but killed off Kobbie Mainoo's hopes of leaving United on loan and rebuilding his career next month. Saying he'd been keen to explore the option of moving to a new club. Did not start a single game. That has not happened, but Fernandes' soft tissue injury now appears to have ended any chance Mainoo had of a move away. Okay, right, so this is what I mean when you've got to read a headline and then read the article. That feels more like an opinion than anything else. I seriously cannot believe that Kobbie is that unlucky that he got a calf injury in the last training session ahead of the game where Bruno got a soft tissue injury, as far as we know right now. I don't know, there's plenty of conspiracy theories down there that he's not been injured. It's United keeping him, so he's got value, blah, blah, blah. No. I think that you can keep your conspiracy theories to yourself. This feels like opinion more than anything. But imagine that. I mean, I can't imagine that because it won't happen. But like United not signing a midfielder and then letting Mainoo leave, it's impossible. I think it's impossible anyway. Look, you've got Sky reporting that Brighton are intent on holding on to Baleba and only a huge offer would make them rethink. I think even if United came in with the same sort of level of bid that we were considering doing in the summer until we found out that they wouldn't accept it, so we didn't put it in, was that 60, 65 mil? I think Brighton would come to that table and have a little conversation. I think they just dismissed it out of hand in the summer, but they would come to the table if we did. I don't know whether we will. No, there's no way that it's Kobbie being punished because of what his brother did. Aaron literally spoke about it. So I'll judge him by what we're seeing on training, what we're seeing here. I'm not going to judge him by what T-shirt his brother wears. which just won't happen. Again, we've spoken about this many a time, but if there's one of the top level midfielders, only three of them, Wharton, Baleba or Anderson, that United could go after in January, I think Baleba's the only one. And that's up for debate now among United fans. As for different midfielders, I know that we've had conversations, and I've had a conversation about Ruben Neves. I did that end of last week. I was saying like 20, 25 mil. Yeah, that's probably something that I would think about, or at least have a conversation about. Conor Gallagher, I don't particularly want to. João Gomez, I could understand that. And I'd probably put it quite similar to Ruben Neves in terms of the impact he would have on the squad and how good he would be. I really want United to... I want some news to appear that we can trust that United are actively trying to find a new club for Ugarte. I think that's going to be a bit of a needle mover. I don't know how to describe it. I think that's something that could preempt some activity for United. Whether Kobbie leaves, I don't think it should be dependent on whether Bruno gets an injury. Is Bruno's injury is that bad or not? But maybe it might delay something until maybe towards the end of January. I don't know. Maybe not. But that conversation certainly exists around Zirkzee, which I'll speak about next. But I'd love there to be some news coming out from like David Ornstein or Fabrizio saying like really genuinely there are clubs interested in Ugarte and United are in talks. Whether that was the Turkish reports that are currently whiffy, whether they come back through and are actually genuine, we'll find out. Let me see what you're saying down here in the chat. Yes, me. Merry Christmas to you as well. Tomorrow's going to be Christmas Eve. Who's doing what Christmas Eve? Might go out for a few drinks. Go down to the pub. Hosted on Christmas Day, though, so I've got to behave myself. I remember once. Did that only happen once? Once I can remember. I got so hammered on Christmas Eve. Went out with my mates. I couldn't even really properly enjoy a ridiculously good Christmas dinner that my dad made. I felt dead guilty. So I never did it after that. Dan saying, do we use a summer transfer kitty and trying to sign Semenyo and Baleba? I don't know what you've done there. That looks like a drunk comment. If we do sign Semenyo, that is us putting forward some funds from the summer already. I doubt we'd do that twice with two players of that sort of size. Maddie going for drinks and carols. Very nice. What are you saying down here? Ugarte should go to Fenerbahce. We've got enough midfielders. Even Martinez can play there. I think you're going to be on your own in that one there, mate, saying that we've got enough midfielders. Maybe in body, we've got enough midfielders. But not in quality. Far from it. So much of this midfield is going to be gone next season. Ugarte for sure. Casemiro, I think so. We don't know what's going to be happening with Bruno. We don't know what's going to be happening with Kobbie. What other midfielders have we got? Martinez, no. He's not a midfielder. He might play there as an auxiliary midfielder, maybe to plug a hole, maybe to help the squad, but I suppose with Luke Shaw being as fit as he currently is, Martinez isn't going to get many minutes. Unless he ends up shifting to left back, but if we sign Semenyo, he's probably going to be playing left wing back. I don't know. But someone else will speak about in terms of January exits. It's Ugarte and Zirkzee. They're going to be the two players that I probably... Ugarte, Zirkzee and Mainoo. I think the three players where there's potential for any of them to leave in January. With Zirkzee, I do think this is going to be correct. The opposite of Semenyo in that sense. With Semenyo, the release clause expires on the 10th of Jan. It's going to be a deal wherever it ends up being. By the way, if I go down to the poll, I can see that 700 votes are in and 62% of you are saying that he'll choose United. I mean, I shouldn't sound too surprised. I know exactly how the poll is going to go on here. But quite a few, 2/3 of you think that he'll choose United. We'll find out, I suppose. But Zirkzee, I don't think there's any chance that he leaves United until later in the window. probably after AFCON's finished, when the players are back. So I don't think you'll see anything. Look, there's going to be reports such as this, which I'll bring you, coming from Italy, saying that Roma are preparing an offer for Zirkzee, which very much sounds like an offer that we got for Højlund from Napoli, right? In fact, I think that's the exact same amount of money. And I don't know whether have they just copied what the Højlund move to Napoli was and attached Roma and Zirkzee together? I don't know. But I'm pretty sure that's exactly what the terms were for the Højlund deal. And it will be a good deal for United if that was the case. I don't know what Roma are doing. What Roma are doing in Serie A this season? Serie A table. So look. Okay, no, right, the fourth right now. Fourth, 3 points off top, but they've played an extra game. So they're currently in the Champions League spots. But that would be a good deal for United. Zirkzee going on loan probably for the rest of the season. I'm guessing with wages covered, maybe with a loan fee, and then an obligation if they get into the Champions League next season. I think Evan Ferguson went on loan there from Brighton and he's not particularly played well. I see Nicholas Füllkrug's going to AC Milan. Oh, man, they got some stanky strikers going there. But 40 million euros for Zirkzee. Hey, Zirkzee's not a bad player. Never thought that never once. Nah. I don't think Zirkzee's shown enough for Manchester United, but it doesn't make him a bad footballer for the fact that he can't make it at Manchester United, because there is a very select percentage of players that are capable of making it for Manchester United. It doesn't necessarily mean that all the others are terrible. They're just not quite got what they need to be a United player. I would probably put Zirkzee in that category. I'll put Højlund in that category as well. I'm pretty sure if we got around about that much, that would cover what we got for Zirkzee. And this is a big old shift, man. A big old shift. Højlund and Zirkzee, right? Højlund didn't work out. I suppose we lost a fair amount on Højlund, actually. We probably lost about 20 mil. But again, 20 mil is like, I know it's bad, and don't do it every single signing you make, but it's not like Anthony Sancho levels of waste. At least we're talking about recouping part. For example, Patrick Dorgu. It's like, I actually thought he was better against Villa compared to what I've seen from Dorgu. Do I still think he's progressed and developed enough? No, not yet in a United shirt. But if it doesn't work out with Dorgu, we're going to sell him probably for more than the 20, 30 mil that we signed him for. So we won't be sort of hamstrung by the fact that, one second there, the door's ringing and this might be the postman. If it's postman, I've got to give him some posters. So one sec. Yeah, we do. Right. Elevator music time, baby. One sec. Postman wanted to chat. Well, Postman's a Spurs fan. He's actually quite nice. Right, there we go. That's what happens. He was picking up 3 posters that were getting delivered because you all keep getting involved in the quiz. By the way, the quiz is coming soon, so make sure you follow the link in the chat. Right, that's not the end of the show. But Zirkzee, look, if we can get 40 odd mil for Zirkzee, that would be a pretty good deal. What is it now? I just wanted to pull these up. I thought it was pretty cool. This is Shay Lacey on Instagram, sort of saying, look, a dream come true, making my Premier League debut for United. Thank you to everyone who has helped me get to this point. Hopefully more to come. Jack Fletcher. Proud to have made my Premier League debut for Man United. A disappointing result, but a memory that will stay with me and my family forever. Both of those will probably be in the squad against Newcastle. Now that Shea Lacey has made his debut, maybe he'll get more than 5 minutes. Maybe he'll get 15 minutes. I don't know. We'll find out. It's just exciting. That was quick. It's your studio in the garage. Now my studio is right next to my front door, though. Annoyingly, it's right next to the road. But we cope with it. Right? Ladies and gents, it's round 17. Round 17 of the UPTV Christmas quiz. Big up to Alex for doing these and producing these. And big up to everyone for getting involved. So the link is in the live chat at the top. It's already pinned to the chat. So you just click that, open it. And if you're on your phone and you're watching, you kind of can't do it unless you've got YouTube Premium because you'll be able to hear me in the background. So ideally, you probably have a second device. Did it? How much can we get through Ugarte? I don't know how much we get through Ugarte. Not the 50 mil. The Ugarte one is probably going to go down as a similar sort of loss to what we got for Hoyland. It's probably going to be around about 20 mil. That's what I think, right? So I was hoping for a pan shot of Fletcher Senior. Was Fletcher at the game? Oh, mate, Morgan Rogers. I saw that. Let me pull this one up. 1 second here. Where did I put that? I think I put it in this chat here. Yeah, that was it. Let me pull this one up. There's a last little thing for today's show. Just off the back of that Jack Fletcher post, as was commented there, a little bit of Morgan Rogers. Proud of you, buddy. And that was after the game, and that was after Morgan Rogers after the game saying, Man United is the biggest club in the world. This guy's, he's putting in the work. It's a shame we can't sign Morgan Rogers now. There's not really a position for him. It was like, if we hadn't have signed Cunha, then we probably could have signed Morgan Rogers. I'll be honest though, pretty damn happy we signed Cunha. So I'm not going to be upset at that. Right, shall we get on with today's quiz? 5 questions, fastest finger first. Whoever tops the leaderboard, you're going to get a prize. Just like the postman collecting the 3 posters that are going to get posted out to 3 of the winners. Yeah, that basically feels like a United come and sign me thing. So, like, Jack Fletcher, so proud of you, mate. Never met you before, but so proud of you. Anyway, shall we? Come on in. 130 of you in the quiz today. Let's see who wins. Will we get one question with 100% of people getting it right? Probably not. Probably never. Let's see if we get in this one. Which of the following is on United's current club logo? A rose, a train, a ship, or a car? Ship, people. I mean, you should all know that. But rose, I can understand them there. Makes you rose? Yeah. Anyway, the train. The ship. Unbelievable, Jeff. Should have all got that. Who's top? T. Right. Unbelievable. Right, you ready? Second question. Which manager has won most trophies with United in the club's history? Is it Busby, Atkinson, Ferguson, or Mourinho? I might leave. I might potentially just leave. Someone do Atkinson. I'm just convinced that there's just 2 people that are just here as jokers. Just never letting you get 100%, mate. Atkinson. I reckon someone's got a little fat finger syndrome. Like, do you remember that episode of The Simpsons where Homer gets really obese? I mean, Homer's already obese anyway. I'm sorry, your fingers are too fat to use this phone. Anyway, 2 of you said Atkinson. We're never getting 100%. Right, who's top? Who's that? Saurab? Are you fastest? No, Raf. Mikey, High Haters, and T are the top 3. All 1 point apart. Whew. That's close. Right. Question 3. They must be trolling. At this point, they're definitely trolling. I agree. Who made his debut for United's under-18s last week versus Birmingham? Tough question. Charlie Hardy, JJ Gabriel, Kai Rooney, or James Bailey? That's a toughie. Charlie Hardy? That's why I said it was a toughie. Because I knew a lot of people were going to be saying Kai Rooney. That's a little bit of a little curveball there. Magical Rhino, though. Quah. He got it right. What a name. Magical Rhino. Is that another name for a unicorn? That's pretty good. That's actually a better name than a unicorn, really. Right, Magical Rhino's now top of the leaderboard. With that name, you should be. With 40 points and 2 questions to go. JJ Gabriel's more than made his debut for the under-18s. And that's leading into the next question, I think. Because how many goals has he scored for the under-18s this season? All competitions. 9, 11 or 13? Only 3 questions. Or 3 answers. Maybe Alex will put it down to 3 answers now. Because then it fits on screen perfect. Yeah, we'll do that. Anyway, what are you saying? I'm pretty sure it's 11. But again, tough. Right? Not for Magical Rhino, though. John's got it. Sam's mate. Questionable. Right. That's not an unassailable lead, but a pretty strong lead going into the last question for Magical Rhino, which is nailing that. What's been the highest score we've had so far? I don't actually know. 3,586 got a 90-point lead going into the last question. Right, you ready for question 5? Let's see if you get it right or wrong. You might win a prize. You might choke. What is the current capacity of Old Trafford? Read them out. Choose. 75,001, 74,412, 73,966, or 74,589. Really hard to say very quickly. Sorry about that. Woo! I think I might have gone for D on that one. I knew it was 74,000. Something. 50-50. 22 got it right. Did the Magical Rhino get it right? I get it wrong. Oh, we got it right. Oh, it looks like we got a winner here. A winner, chicken dinner. Oh, yeah. Clear victory there. Clear victory for the Rhino. Congratulations, dude. That's a top tier name, by the way. You have won today. So make sure you reach out to Maddie or Alex on Discord. Get your address. We'll get the prize sent out to you. So congratulations. But that's 17 quizzes we've done now. 17 prizes we've given away. Plus, I got in touch with the winner, Steve, of the PS5. I need to email him again today because he's not actually come back to me. But yeah. What's the plans for the next couple of days? Lunchtime video today is definitely going to be on Antoine Semenyo. A kind of full summary of everything that's happened these last couple of days because it's gone from, United might want him to United really want him and are pushing to get it done ASAP Rocky. Tomorrow, not sure what the video is. Christmas Day will be the Newcastle preview. Boxing Day will be the Newcastle game. All right. Thank you all for tuning in. Much love to you. Gungshi, thank you for gifting some memberships and all of you making the show what it is. I'll see you soon. Well, I'll see you lunchtime and tomorrow. Take it easy.